Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to another edition of Pick Your Politics, Nevada's #1 political podcast. We have another great show for you today because we have a great guest. A little bit different than what we normally have. Somebody's running for the Assembly or the Senate. This happens to be a judicial candidate, something a little bit different for us, and I really think you're going to enjoy meeting her and learning about her. And remember, this show is being brought to you because we want you to learn more about the candidates in order to help you vet them to see where they stand, to see if they agree with you or you agree with them, to help you make a better, more informed decision when that's right, you got to get out and vote. That is the whole name of the game because we got that coming up pretty soon. Let me tell you about our special guest, Jessica Goodym. She was elected to the Las Vegas Justice Court in November of 2022 and started her position in January of 2023 in Department 6 of the Las Vegas Justice Court. She was elected for a 6-year term, which is not up quite yet, and she currently presides over a civil calendar. Jessica was admitted to the Nevada State Bar in 2010, where she practiced primarily civil litigation. And as a judge, well, let me get into that. Yeah, and you've been in Department 6 since you've been there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So people know you from Department 6. All right. Let me get on to some of our questions. So, Jessica, as a judge, is it sometimes difficult maintaining your impartiality?
I want to say no, but of course, right? My job is to be impartial. And so there are certainly times when I feel bad for the person that's in front of me because of their circumstances, because of the circumstances of the case. It's never because I know the person.
Yeah.
It's never because I don't allow that to come before me. If I'm friends with somebody enough that I would feel like I couldn't be impartial,
right,
I step off of the case.
Okay.
So there are certainly times I am sympathetic to the people in front of me, and that will challenge my impartiality a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm trained, I have to set that aside. And I can't go based on how bad I feel for the parties. I have to apply Nevada law.
Right. Exactly right. What got you into the law business to begin with? Did you grow up saying I want to be a lawyer and judge someday?
Yeah, actually. So it's a funny.
You did?
It sounds very cliche.
Wow.
So I was having an argument with my mom when I was about 5 years old. It is the most cliche story in the world. I was having an argument with my mom about 5 years old. And about halfway through, she made a good point, and so I flipped my argument. And she stops and she looks at me and she goes, "You like to argue too much. You should be a lawyer." And I looked at her and I said, "Okay."
Really?
I had no idea what that meant. Most people may or may not know, I grew up really poor. I'm the first person from my family to graduate high school and go on to college. And so I had no idea what being a lawyer meant. But from that moment, I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else.
Wow. Interesting.
And so went from high school to undergrad to law school, and into being a lawyer. Couple years into the practice, I thought, you know what? I think one of these days I want to be a judge.
Wow.
And kind of
Okay.
started working towards that, and
Yeah.
here we are.
There
A
you
few
are.
years earlier than I thought it was going to be, but when God opens a door, you walk through it.
That's exactly right. You take advantage of every opportunity you can. You went to law school here.
I did.
And
Yes.
graduated here.
Yes, sir.
And got your law degree from
Boyd at UNLV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. Has your professional and personal background helped you when you're on the bench, when you're rendering decisions?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, was there a second part to that
No,
question?
no,
I don't want to
that's all right.
interrupt
Cut me
you.
right off. That's
I
okay.
know, I'm
That's
so
okay.
sorry.
Yeah. See, can't argue with the judge, folks. Yeah.
I don't let people interrupt me in court or interrupt other people, so I apologize.
No.
Absolutely. So prior to taking the bench, as you said, I practiced primarily in civil law. I had a few other cases here or there, but I practiced in all manner of civil law. So my knowledge of the procedures and the substantive law certainly helped me. Makes my job a little bit easier. I'm not learning the law on the bench or learning as I go. I'm always learning new things, but I have the baseline. And then representing the clients I did has helped me understand where the parties are coming from when they're talking to me. I know when they don't understand the process.
Right.
I can see it because I'm so accustomed to advising my clients of this is what the process is and educating them. And so I have the ability to do that from the bench because I can recognize those same signs when I could see it in my clients.
Right. Why do you prefer civil? Are you totally opposed to hearing any criminal cases?
No, I've heard criminal cases before. I regularly fill in for I call them my criminal colleagues, which isn't fair, but my colleagues who have a criminal docket, if they are out sick or need some coverage, I happily step in and I cover their calendars for them. Prior to taking the bench, I served as an alternate judge in Las Vegas Municipal Court, which is an all criminal calendar. So I could get experience with that type of law that I didn't have practice experience with. So I'm not opposed to it, but we don't have a lot of civil litigators that go on to the bench. And so we need that experience. And so I could happily take on a criminal docket. My experience is best used for the system in a civil docket.
In district court, you get there, what is the percentage of civil as opposed to criminal?
So in this particular department, I don't know the stats overall for the court. It's still primarily civil. A huge portion of the caseload is civil.
Yeah.
In this particular department, it is an all civil department. So 100% of my cases would be civil.
Okay. All right. What are some of the qualities, Jessica, you feel are needed for a person to be considered a good judge?
I mean, so I could say all of the buzzwords, right? A good judicial temperament, I could say impartiality and experience, and those are all true. But I think that really means is the ability. One of the things I think we're sometimes missing is the efficiency part of it. We need judges who are able to manage a high caseload and be able to move their cases along and get justice. Justice delayed is justice denied, right?
Right.
And so the ability to run that heavy caseload as well as maintaining impartiality, making sure people believe in the system. And part of the judicial temperament, I think, is the ability to treat everyone who comes into my courtroom with kindness, dignity, and respect. Every person who walks into my courtroom, no matter who they are, gets that from the start, from every level of my staff. And I think that's really important because when people come into my courtroom, no one is ever like, oh my gosh, Judge, I can't wait to tell you about this amazing day I had. People are walking into my courtroom on some of the worst days of their life.
Yeah.
And the least we can do is be kind to them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's pretty traumatic anyway, walking into court and when you're doing something. Keeping on that same vein, what is the difference in your opinion between a good lawyer, a lot of good lawyers around, and a great lawyer when they are in your courtroom?
The difference between a good lawyer and a great lawyer is the ability to recognize the weaknesses in their case and address them. You can't just ignore them and say, yes, Judge, I understand there is this issue. Here's how we've overcome it, or here's why you should still rule in my favor. A lot of times I will ask a question, say, hey, this is what's stopping me from ruling in your favor because of this case or this fact. What's your response? And they just kind of keep going with the same stuff with never really addressing it. The really great lawyers address that and can overcome my questions that prevent me from ruling in their favor.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. What are your favorite types of cases to hear? I know it's on a civil level, but you must have some distinction.
I like really interesting cases. And so a lot of the types of cases I hear right now, and for anybody who doesn't know, Justice Court is a court of limited jurisdiction. So that means we handle civil cases, people suing for money,
Right.
up to $15,000.
Okay.
We also handle eviction cases. So all of the evictions are coming through our court. And so I see a lot of credit card cases. So people who've taken out credit cards who can't pay or who haven't paid them back. Title loan cases, that's probably 70-80%
Really?
of my cases. So my favorite type of cases are the ones that aren't those, because it presents a new and interesting set of facts or circumstances
Yeah,
or
yeah.
case law. I had a weird insurance subrogation case the other day. I was like, oh, this is really fun. Ask anybody else, it's not fun, but it got my brain
Yeah.
going, and I was
It's
really
different for you, yeah.
right. And then I like those cases. So we handle eviction cases, and I handle formal evictions, which are mobile home cases. So people being evicted from their mobile homes. Those tend to be our most at-risk,
Wow.
communities already. And so those are really heavy cases. And there have been a couple of those that I've been able to get them into our eviction diversion program and help the senior citizen avoid eviction. Those are really my favorite cases, the ones that I can actually help
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
And in that case, I'm helping the tenant because they're not evicted, and I'm helping the landlord because they're getting their money. And so
Right.
those are the few cases where everybody walked out of my courtroom happy.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Does the homeless problem that we are seeing here, as well as a lot of areas across the country, folks, does that have anything to do with the evictions that are going on, or
I would
people walking away from their apartments or homes? I'm not paying anymore. Or,
I don't think the problems we are seeing, that at least in the way we typically think about it, have to do with the evictions. They're certainly part of it, but I think that has to do a lot more with the mental health issues and the substance abuse issues that we're
Okay.
seeing. And so that's not so much what I handle kind of in my department, but my court does and my colleagues do. We have what's called a community court. So if someone is picked up on a charge like trespassing or sleeping on the streets, we call those quality of life kind of crimes.
Yeah.
So when we have those types of crimes, they are then put into our community court if they qualify, where we can provide wraparound services, help them address the mental health issues and the
Okay.
substance abuse issues and the housing issues. There are programs out there. It's just connecting the resources with the people it's intended to serve. And that's what we are able to do through our community court.
Okay, what do you hear, and I'm glad you brought that up, what do you hear from people, whether in or out of the court, that are some of the real concerns and problems that people that are living here?
Everything.
Okay.
Well, so I mean, it's all the things that we hear, right? It's the price of housing.
Right.
Rent's going up,
Right.
where, especially again with our fixed income communities, the fixed income isn't keeping up with the cost of rent. That's a lot of what I see in the eviction types of cases that I see, and post foreclosures too. I handle post foreclosure evictions where people haven't paid their mortgage, the home has been foreclosed upon, and so now then they're evicted from that
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
And that's, then there's a loss of jobs. So the downturn in the economy is obviously, especially with tourism going down. I think we all know, we've seen our tourism numbers go down over the last,
Yeah.
year or so. And that's hard because that really is kind of the lifeblood of our city. We're working to
Right.
diversify
Right,
it,
exactly.
but so many people rely on that for
Right.
jobs. And so when they're laid off and they've got to choose between to eat or pay the rent,
And because of that, Judge, do you think we need to diversify our economy a little bit more? And not be so reliant on those streams?
I always think diversification it can't hurt, right? Diversification of our economy can't possibly hurt. That's more opportunities for work. There's more different types of work. We can get more people into our city. That diversification is never a bad thing, I don't think.
Okay. How do you make the system better being a district court judge? She wants to be a district court judge, as opposed to your position now.
So again, I think that I wasn't planning on doing this year. I was going to wait another couple of years because my term isn't up. But then Judge Sturman retired, and she is one of our longest serving civil judges. And so when she announced her retirement, I was kind of watching the races and see who was filing where. And got down to the last couple of days of filing, and there was nobody with civil experience in this race. And so I kind of looked at it, and I talked to my family, and it's like, look, we're really not sure this is the right thing right now, but there's this, there's an opportunity. And things just kind of happened where, again, it was God saying, I'm opening this door, you walk through it. And so it's my ability to bring that civil experience back to the district court bench, because we are losing some of that long-standing civil experience. And so it's my ability to bring that to the district court bench, which handles bigger cases. And I don't want to say more important cases, but just higher value cases. Yeah. And so if you have a multi-million-dollar business dispute, you don't want your judge learning the law on your case, right? And so that's the value I think that I can bring to the district court bench.
Are there, and excuse me for not knowing this, but other people vying for this position?
Yes.
Against you?
Correct. So, and if you ask them, they'll tell you I filed against them because they filed first. So I have two opponents. There's a gentleman named Pete Tennell and another gentleman named Dan Hoagie. So Pete has been a longstanding district attorney, and then Dan was a district attorney and is currently bar counsel, so prosecuting attorneys for ethics violations. Okay. Both wonderful gentlemen. I've now met them both. I've known Dan. I met Pete through the campaign process. Wonderful gentlemen. Just unfortunately, they don't have that civil experience.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's the best way you can separate yourself from these people?
Exactly that. It's my civil experience and my judicial experience. I've been on the bench 3.5 years. I've worked to get a lot of education to be a good judge. I serve on our statewide committee. I created a training program for our new judges. I serve on an international organization of judges, and I'm currently working on putting together a conference that's going to be held in Las Vegas so we can bring some additional judges from national and international to Las Vegas. Nice. So I worked really hard and will continue to work really hard to be a good judge while also, again, having that experience that I have.
No, that's great. All right, I'll tell you what, folks, we're going to step away, take a real short break, about a minute, to run this message by you. And when we come back, we will finish up with Judge Jessica Goodym. So stay right there. We're back with you right after. Are you a local leader with a message for the community? We want to hear from you. Our podcast is inviting local politicians and public officials to join us for real conversations about the issues that matter most to our community. Share your vision, explain your policies, and connect directly with the people you represent. If you're currently serving, running for office, or involved in shaping local policy, we'd love to have you on the show. Reach out today to schedule an episode and be part of the conversation. Contact me by text at 702-712-3224. All right, we are back, everybody. And we're going to finish the show. We got a little ways to go with Judge Jessica Goodym, who is running to elevate her position to district court. And she's currently serving in justice court. And what kind of events are you doing? How are you letting people know you want to get up to district court? Because obviously that's the name of the game.
Well, and that's the hardest thing I think with judicial races is there's so many of them on the ballot.
Yeah.
And unless you are in the legal community or happen to be involved kind of in local politics, most people have no idea that we elect judges, who the judges are, what they
Right.
do, what the difference is.
Yeah.
And so I've got signs all around town. I'm so sorry, guys. You're going to see my face everywhere now. I apologize. It's there. I do things like this. Any chance I can get to talk to people and get in front of voters, I will jump on it every single chance I get. I go to political events on both sides. We are nonpartisan, so
Right.
it doesn't matter when you walk into my courtroom what your political affiliation is. It has no bearing on the case, no bearing on how I treat you. And so I go to both sides of the events, and I'm meeting all of the people across the community. Soon enough, I'll start knocking on doors of potential voters. And then we're going to do a digital campaign to try to get my message out.
Okay. That's about all you can do, really.
It's hard because we are a county-wide race.
Yeah.
We don't have millions of dollars behind us. And so, we can't do the big ads that, our congressional people do
Well, right.
and some of the bigger county-wide
Yeah.
races. And so we do as much as we possibly can.
Yeah. And that's why I say on every show, folks, running for office, whether it be judicial or non-judicial, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. And most importantly, it takes money, okay? You can't do this stuff without raising some money. And I'm sure that's true in your case. If people wanted to find out a little bit more about you and donate to your campaign, how do they do that? Give them a
Absolutely.
website or whatever. Yeah.
That's the easiest question in the world. You can, if you Google me, you'll find my website. You'll find all sorts of information about me. But my actual website is judgejessicagoody.com. I got really creative with that one, you guys. I worked really hard on trying to come up with the best name, but judgejessicagoody.com.
Yeah. There you go. Check her out, and you have a place where somebody could donate to your campaign.
There's information on me about there,
Yeah.
and there's the donate link. You can
Yeah.
also find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I think there's an X account, but I haven't been on it in a
Yeah.
long time. You're not going to find much.
Yeah. And
relevant
again, it doesn't
current
matter how
information.
much. It could be $2, $5, $10, 20. It all adds up.
It
and the
certainly
bottom
does.
line, you need money to do this stuff.
Absolutely, and any amount is so greatly appreciated
Yeah.
because that's another $5 or $10 that it doesn't have to come out of my pocket.
That's right. And remember, she is not taking any IOUs. Okay, so don't get cute in that sense. How would you rate the overall judicial experience in Southern Nevada, in Clark County, as opposed to other jurisdictions that you know about?
That's hard, right? I've never been a judge anywhere else, and my entire legal experience has been here. So
Okay.
I came out from Illinois. I had actually never been to Las Vegas before. I'd never set foot in Las Vegas when I moved out here for law school. So it was me, my 2-year-old son. I was a single mom at the time. Moved out here for law school and built a home here. So I've never practiced anywhere else, and I've never been a judge anywhere else. What I can say is this community is amazing. It's supported me, helped me raise my son. He's 20 now, but we don't talk, almost 21. We don't talk about that. Makes me feel old. But I have a really amazing set of colleagues. We support each other. They're there when I need help.
Yeah.
If somebody is sick, we have a group message, say, hey, can somebody cover this for me? Hey, I've got this weird case, who can talk about it with me, and kind of like tease out the issues. I have a really good set of colleagues, both on the justice court bench and on the district court bench.
Okay. Do you have any interaction with people on the Supreme Court, for instance?
Outside of like legal conferences,
Yeah.
not so much. I
Okay.
mean, we'll see each other at events, and
Yeah.
we're friendly, and I'm friends with several of them. But my appeals go to district court right now, and so there would be like 3 steps for one of my cases to get to the district or
Right.
to the Supreme Court. When I go to the district court bench, and I'm going to the district court bench, then my appeals would go to the Supreme Court. So
Right.
then they would be reviewing my decisions. But most of my interaction is more personal rather than professional, outside of, again, education conferences
Yeah.
and committees that we serve on and things like that.
How do you, somebody asked me to ask you this, how do you keep up with the law and all the changes in the law that help you render a decision in your courtroom? You got to know a lot of stuff.
I read every Supreme Court decision that comes out. That's the only way to do it. When Supreme Court issues a decision, we are notified of it, and I find time to sit down and read it.
Okay.
That's the only way. And then during the legislative session, I served on the legislative committee I was the chair of the legislative committee for my court, as well as I was on the legislative committee for our statewide organization of judges. And so I spent 3 or 4 hours every week during the legislative committee, sitting in meetings, reviewing the legislative proposals, and then summarizing the bills that were passed. And so that's the only way to do it is by doing it. So reading the laws as they're passed and reading the cases as they come out.
Because like in your courtroom, you'll have 2 judges, and somebody will say, "Well, I'm sure Mr. Richards knows that's against the law," but you got to know that stuff.
Exactly. And I have a law clerk to assist me. So if I do have a question, then hey, can you do some additional research on this? I prepare for my calendar every day. So before I walk into court, I have read everything that has been filed. I take notes on it. I have my notes from prior hearings, and I have the ability, if I need to, if I don't know the law already, then I can do some research on it, or I can have my law clerk do the research on it. And so I walk in prepared. So I'm not walking in waiting for these attorneys to tell me what the law is.
Right.
I've already reviewed what they've submitted to me, and I'm prepared to go based upon that. And that's important in my court right now because probably 50 or 60% of the people who appear in front of me are self-represented, meaning they don't have attorneys.
Oh, they are? Oh.
And so they're certainly most of the time not going to be able to advise me of new changes in the law unless they've sat down and done their own
Right.
research. And so I want to make sure that the lawyer isn't giving me bad law and the self-represented person isn't giving me bad law, which is a whole new thing in the AI era that we're living in, and it hallucinates cases and things like that. And
If somebody isn't represented in your courtroom, do you give them a little extra leeway?
It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. And so there are certain procedural rules. For example, so if somebody files a motion, the other side has 14 days to oppose it. A lot of times what happens is the unrepresented person will get the motion, they come into court, and they say, "Judge, I didn't know I needed to file an opposition," so I give them the extra time.
Okay.
Or I say, "Okay, you're disputing this. Based on what? Make those representations to me now." I don't apply the law to them any differently. I don't treat them any differently. But if they need some additional time, and then when I have self-represented people, I do take the additional time to be more clear and more fully explain my ruling. Because I can say a couple of words to the attorney and they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I try to make sure I'm not using the legalese and just saying a bunch of things. I want to make sure that the self-represented person understands what my ruling is and how I got there and generally what it means for them.
That's important.
Without giving them legal advice, because that's something I can't do.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Can somebody that's viewing the show or anybody come down and see you in action, so to speak?
Anytime you want. So most interesting time, Wednesday afternoon starting at 1:30. That's my small claims calendar, which nobody ever knows what that means, but I'm the Judge Judy of Las Vegas. That's what I do on Wednesday afternoon. So come down, hang out. I'm the nicer version, but I'm the Judge Judy of Las Vegas. So
I love it.
Come down and check us out. I'm in courtroom 6B at the main courthouse.
I love it. That would be interesting. So yeah, come on, check her out, see how she operates. And again, you've got to vet these people. Go to her website. See what she's all about. You agree with some things, you don't agree with certain other things, but again, it's all about give this lady some money because she wants to get to district court. So when you see her name on the ballot, Jessica Goodym, oh goody for me. I promised I wasn't going to do that, but I lost it. Yeah. you will know what to do, because we need good attorneys. We need good, even better judges to render fair and impartial decisions. So you decide. It's up to you. But no matter what, the most important thing is get up. You got to get out and vote. That's what the whole deal is. Absolutely. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on, Judge.
Thank you so much for
I
having me.
appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thank you. And, great color choice today. We did
Yeah,
not
I thought so.
coordinate
And we
this,
didn't,
right?
Yeah, I didn't even call her and ask. I told her to wear robes, but no, that wasn't going to happen. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition. So for Jessica Goodym, I'm Dennis Silvers for Pick Your Politics. We're going to see you back next week with another guest. So until then, have a good one, everybody, and so long.